Hello seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Mercury is a very unique planet. It's a planet that represents logic, information, intelligence, and this is a planet that has a different energy signature, especially when it moves into fire zodiac. It is where the consciousness gets flared up. It is where the power of the fire element kind of provides the enthusiasm to the logic, and then the mind wanders and tries to find out the reasons of existence. This is like a scientist trying to figure out the lessons of life, the formulas or the mathematics of the working of the world. So when Mercury goes into Leo zodiac sign, this is going to be very good for humanity. This is going to be very good for all of us, especially because Mercury will be third from the sign of Gemini. And this is with respect to Kalpurush going to be the Bhavat Bhavam of Gemini, which results into higher order expression of the Gemini side of the life. But on the other hand, this will come at a cost of Virgo side of the life, because from Virgo, Mercury will be 12 places away in the Leo zodiac sign. Now we know that when Mercury is in Leo, it is one house away from being exalted. But this time, Mercury will enter the sign of Leo on 25th of July, and then on 24th of August, Mercury will become retrograde. So after a good 1 month of transit in Leo, Mercury becomes Vakri, and then until the 1st of October, Mercury will become retrograde and then forward, and then will exit out of Leo. So Mercury will only enter Virgo on 1st of October. So you can see there is going to be an oscillatory motion of this Mercury in Leo, which will be a kind of a roller coaster ride for the Virgo side of the life, whereas it will put all your resources and efforts towards the Gemini part of life. So this definitely gives us an opportunity to work on our prarabdha karma. This helps us communicate with our bestest of abilities and provides that ability to communicate the right thing in the right manner at the right amount of time, which therefore helps us reduce our debts, helps us reduce loans. This will help economies to recover globally, and this will bring new economic ties among different people, different nations, and will improve communication also. So if you have lost your communication with someone, definitely this is going to be a hopeful transit for you. Let's discuss for each ascendant what this transit has to offer. But before that, do not forget to subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon and click on all notifications. And in case you want one place to see all the notifications from all of my channels, follow me on Telegram. For reels and other interesting stuff, please follow me on Instagram. And if you want to know something extra from the world of Vedic astrology, you can definitely follow me on Patreon. For consultations, you can drop me an email, and for everything else, the details are in the description box below. Let's begin ascendant-wise analysis. But before we proceed, please answer this quiz in the comment section below. Mercury will enter Leo on 25th of July, but which nakshatra Mercury will first transit into in the Leo zodiac sign? Here are your options. Aries ascendant. In case of Aries, Mesh Lagna, Mercury or Budh will be in the Panchama Bhava, the 5th house. 5th house being the house that is associated with your children, that is associated with your productivity, that is associated with your expression, love, that is associated with relationship, that is associated with education. And Mercury is going to make you think about all these areas of life. When Mercury goes for you in the 5th house, it is similar to the movement of Budh in the Kalpurush. That means from the 3rd house, Mercury will be 3 places away. Henceforth, this is the Bhavat Bhavam position of Budh from Gemini. That means the 3rd house abilities will improve, and this will give you more productivity. This will help you learn more from life. This will help you communicate better with your children, or I will say you will have to improve your communication with your children if you have. And for students, this is going to be a very, very challenging time, not in a negative sense, but in a positive sense, because these challenges will give them that skill that they deserve, and the kind of marks or the kind of rank that they are working hard for. Fifth house is also mantra bhava. So Budh coming in the fifth house, being the third lord, actually can help you get rid of the horoscope's doshas or the problems that are underlying in the horoscope through mantra chanting. A simple chanting of Vishnu Sahasranam will go a long way, because the Bhagwan Mahavishnu is basically connected to Mercury. See, Mercury is also a planet of transformation, exchange of communication, information. And with fifth house, you will get to see the same theme being played in your life, and you will have to put your hand and have a learning curve. A lot of things will come to you and you will have to learn them. One of the primary reason is that this Mercury will give you somewhat good results from Gemini, but you also have to remember Budh is also your sixth lord. Now when Mercury is your sixth lord, it is the lord of your prarabdha karma, and then it moves into your fifth house. This is definitely going to be a time when the sixth lord sitting in the fifth house will deplete the energies of the fifth house in order to resolve issues related to the sixth house. So you will have to be slightly careful about your digestive issues. You will have to be careful about your liver. You will have to be careful about how you communicate and how you can resolve disputes through communication rather than, fighting. This is not a Martian Mercury. This is a Mercury which can receive the power of the Sun which will be in the fourth house, not in a great position. And when Sun enters the sign of Leo on 17th of August, what happens after some days, after a week, Mercury becomes retrograde. So definitely this is the time of dropping your ego. This is the time of showing the talent by hard work and learn. If something is not working, maybe you need to unlearn something and relearn. Maybe you need to work in a different way. So the theme of the transit will be to bring your attention and your effort towards core problems of life, but by applying a different strategy. So if you are stuck, there is a possibility that you will have to change your plans, or you will have to rework on what you're already doing. This can also give you opportunity, and this attitude can bring more opportunities in your career because it aspects the 11th house. This will improve chances of network circle. Your network circle will grow and you will be in a much better position. But then you will have to make efforts, also cut down the toxicity from life. Maybe some toxic relations will go away, and financially this will be kind of challenging time because it is a sixth lord aspecting the 11th house. So this is the time to give inputs and invest rather than expect to receive a lot of returns. Don't think this as a negative time. This is a positive time, but then you first have to be prepared. Taurus Ascendant. In case of Taurus Ascendant, Mercury will be moving in your fourth house. Now for Taurus, Mercury rules two very important houses, second and fifth. From the second house, Mercury is 3 places away in the fourth house, which definitely talks about investment in real estate, you putting your own money and savings into building assets, building properties, buying car, buying a house. All that is okay. But this also means that your fifth lord is in fourth house. Now that is not a bad position, but what it says is that definitely you will have blessings of your family, your ancestors, and through your cousins, through your maternal uncle, through the friends, you will be able to start something, a new process in your life. It can be a joint venture, it can be a new job, it can be a new business, it can be a joint property, but definitely all this will be positive because after all this Budh aspects your 10th house. People working in night shifts should be slightly careful because this can hurt your health. So you will have to be extra cautious about your body. You have to be very reactive to the response that your body is giving during this time. For Taurus, Budh is actually a Yoga Karaka planet. So coming in the Kendra Bhav actually improves the quality of Mercury. But fourth house is a house of comfort. It's a house where you sleep. And where you sleep, your consciousness is in the least active state. That means Mercury coming here is going to either make you very active when you should not be. That will make you an overthinker, and that can make you take hasty decisions, that can make you take emotional decisions. So this is where you will have to take certain help of a family member, help of a healer, help of an astrologer, just to balance out things if you need. Now Budh here is very good for students, but students have to also be careful that they should spend most of the time in the day, not use night. Night should be the time to sleep. Through dreams and through subconscious mind, you will get a lot of communication, and you should be very observant, very aware about that communication. It can be helpful to you. And for people who want to improve on their career, who want to improve on their personal front, this is a great time. People involved in hospitality industry, people involved in traveling industry, people who are writers, people who are into advertising, people who convert emotions into writing. This is a great time for you. People who are into brokering, people who are involved into real estate agencies, manufacturing, or any such FMCG goods, you will see great boost. And if you want to move from the current location and shift to a different location, this can be a great time. You can also get blessings of your family, and your support will come from your family. So it all seems to be really good during this time. But what might happen is that you can become your own hurdle, you can become your own obstacle during this time. Do not forget that this Mercury will be having an aspect of a retrograde Saturn from Aquarius throughout its Leo-based transit. And with Mars presence in the sign of Leo, you will see that this can create impulsive nature, this can create spark, and you will be desperate towards attaining comfort, and you will be desperate towards moving into a place where you will feel relaxed. That might not work. So don't be desperate about anything. Go with the flow. It is a good transit. It is a transit of creation. Creative ideas will come your way. This is a transit where difficult questions can be answered in a second, and definitely this is a transit that will pave right path towards your career, even towards your marriage. But then you must be humble in your communication, positive and polite in your approach, and very soft-hearted. Harshness will be killed by Saturn and Mars. Gemini. In case of Gemini, Mercury is your Lagna Lord and your fourth Lord. So definitely you can understand how important Budh is for you. And this Mercury will be going in the third house, the house whose Karaka is Mars, the Lord is Sun, and Mars is in the third house in the sign of Leo. So definitely this is a great time to start new things. This can make you rediscover your own talent and potential. This can bring right amount of help from your friends, siblings, neighbor, and short distance travel might be helpful. Your words can reach far and wide, and people who are involved into transport related business, who are involved into business that involves a lot of hand, like handicrafts, pottery, who are into creative fields, will see a lot of strategy coming their way. Sometimes even the creative areas of life need planning and strategy, and Mercury is expert in that, bringing logic into everything. But what might happen with Mars and Mercury, you might be very effective in your communication, but sometimes being too effective, too logical will destroy the flavor. So be alert about that. Be aware that you're not being, where you should not be, not bringing the flavor. Like sometimes adding salt to the tea is not good. Salt has its own place, sugar has its own place. So your Mercury and your logic will also have its own place. Also, this can make you very much talkative. You will express a lot, and you can over express things, especially when Mercury is retrograde. I will make another video of retrograde Mercury, but this can make you impulsive, have a childlike behavior, and can behave immaturely if you have afflicted Mercury in your chart, and basically if you are of that age. So be mindful and watchful of these kind of shifting energies. Now, when your ascendant lord goes in the third house, now what is third house? Third house is called Purushartha, your capacity to work. But also, Mercury brings duality. In Kal Purush, third house is ruled by Gemini itself. So you can understand how important the third house frequencies will be in your chart. Your strength will improve, but how are you improving your strength? This is the time to plan things, not execute. You can execute if you have already planned, but if you strategize your life, if you plan your life in a positive direction, this will be a great transit for you. Mercury will be aspecting your 9th house, and this may involve a lot of travel to pilgrimages. You will be getting guidance from the Guru, and you will be starting something new. Especially, it's a great time for people who want to become an entrepreneur, who want to do a lot of startups, who are working in technological sector, who are working in IT and communication, who are working in satellite communication, who are working in niche technology sectors. Overall, Mercury transit in the third house can be excellent. Just you have to ensure that your speech, your body language should not be intimidating, and if you get the power, use it wisely. Cancer. For Karka Lagna, if you see, Mercury will go in the second house. And when Mercury goes in second house, Mercury is usually very good because it's a house of stability, it's a house of finance, and Mercury going there will kind of make things work. It will make you focus towards the stability part of life. Mars is also there. So what it will do is it will put your brain into a lot of mathematical calculation. One problem, you should not put this mathematical calculation among relations in the family. Otherwise, you will start calculating the next move that the person will bring in your life, and then this will go in a very bad spiral. Well, Mercury rules your 12th house, Mercury rules your 3rd house. So definitely there will be expenses related to travel. Now see, the 12th lord coming in the 2nd house also means loss coming into the house of family, the house of wealth. That means some expenses, maybe auspicious, you will have to incur those auspicious expenses because of a family function, because of some member, some celebration, something, and that you will not be able to control because there's a loss of your ability to control. 3rd lord going 12 places away in the 2nd house. So what you will try to do is you will try all your might, all your analysis into somehow maintaining the finance, somehow bringing the stability in life, and you might fall into the trap of fake investments, investment that might not give you proper return, or you might fall into the trap of some business idea that will be impractical, but you will assume that it will work out because you can do it. You will have to be very grounded at this time. You have to understand that it is Saturn in your 8th house, a retrograde Saturn. So a retrograde Saturn can keep bringing unexpected events, surprises out of it's like a box, and one after the another a surprise is coming, and Mercury and Mars is kind of planning how to dodge that surprise. Better to focus your mind completely on earning money, thinking about earning money in a positive direction, because this can be a great money making transit for you. For businessmen, this can be a great transit, and especially if you are into the accounting side, if you're a CA, if you're into the financial sector, banking sector, it's all about growth and success for you. Chant Vishnu Sahasranam and simply chant Om Gam Ganapate Namah, Om Gam Ganapate Namah, and you will see the positivity will come to you. Leo Ascendant. Now for you, Budh is coming on your ascendant, and there is a Mars and Saturn axis on the 1st and the 7th house, and then Mercury will be there in the 1st house in a direct motion until 24th. Then it will go retrograde, and until 1st of October Mercury will influence your ascendant. Now this will increase your intellect, This will give you more confidence. This will give you a lot of strategy and planning. And if you're involved in such kind of career, you will be successful. Also, this will utilize your, I will say, the brain resources more than what you have been doing. That means you will be applying your brain, your mind, your head into a lot of difficult tasks. And this task can come because of repeated issues coming. So one thing you might see that you sort one issue and then another issue pops up, and then you sort that and then another issue pops up, and this might keep on happening. Don't be worried, it's not bad. It's just that you will be overwhelmed. See, Budh is your second lord and Budh is your 11th lord. Being second in 11th house, it rules finances, it rules gains financially. And when it comes in the first house, it shows that if you take care of it, if you personally control these areas of life, you will become successful. Also, the second and 11th lord is conjunct with the 9th lord, which is Mars, which is excellent. This can give you opportunity to buy a real estate, buy properties, build your assets, move into construction business. Your trading business will also improve if you have a shop, especially if you have a shop related to electrical equipments, electronics store, if you have a shop related to energy, wires, anything that has to do with fire extinguisher, fire related stuff, you will see great boost in your career. Something will, things will move in a very fast pace. But you will have to maintain that patience. Jupiter will be also aspecting this conjunction, and as the days progresses, Jupiter and Rahu separation increases day by day, which furthermore strengthens the presence of Mercury in the first house. But this can affect you in a negative way from the perspective of immunity. If you have a weak or afflicted Mercury in your chart, then you have to chant Budh mantra, Budh Bij mantra. Every Wednesday, pray to Bhagwan Narayan, and also you can chant Ganesh Atharva Shirsha. Visiting a Ganesh temple every Wednesday or Bhagwan Narayan temple, Vishnu temple every Wednesday will be extremely helpful. Donating green colored items or donating green colored food items like green colored dal or pulses or something will be also beneficial if you do it on a Wednesday. See, whenever you see Mars and Mercury on the head, this you are talking in terms of hyperactivity. You're talking about a lot of agility, fast-paced growth. All that is okay because you're clubbing it with the Leo energy. You have to make sure that you are doing things right by taking one step at a time. Basically, wait for Sun to enter Leo, because when Sun will enter Leo, your ascendant lord will come into its power, because until then Sun will be in the Marankaraka Sthan of the 12th house. So for Leo, everything is perfect, but wait for Sun to come on your ascendant. But when Sun comes on the ascendant, see what happens in the 1-7 axis. For a very brief moment, it will be Sun, Mars and Saturn axis, and a retrograde Mercury will be caught in the future. So Mercury, Sun, Mars and then Saturn in the 7th house, all this can affect marriage very, very heavily, very negatively. And one small, you can say, one spark and it might explode. The petrol might catch the fire. So be very cautious how you speak and how you deal with marriage. Virgo ascendant. Now in case of Virgo, you are ruled by Mercury and your 10th house is also ruled by Mercury. Your ascendant in 10th house basically rules half of your life, half of the 4 Purusharth. And when this Mercury goes in the 12th house, now see, a 12th house Mercury is not really bad, but what happens when the first lord goes in 12th house is that it will make you think a lot about your career, your position. It will make you worry about your losses, about your expenses. Mercury in the 12th house can cause a lot of expenses, a lot of transactions, and sometimes money can be spent in unnecessary recovery. Say you bought a car and as soon as you brought it out from the showroom, within a month or within a week, there is a dent or there is a scratch and you have to send it to repairs. You see unexpected, unnecessary, unwanted expenses. Also, it's a time when people who are willing to relocate, who are willing to work abroad, who are willing to move to a foreign country, who wants to do export and import, who are associated with hospitals, who are associated with medical industry, who are neurosurgeons, who are associated with skin clinics, skin related clinics, Plastic surgeons will see great success during this time. Mercury being in the 12th house will aspect your 6th house and can force you to spend money towards diseases. Now it can be anyone's. Now also this Mercury shows that you are going to spend money into upgrading your career. After all, 6th house is your role, job, and Budh is your 10th lord. So definitely you might travel for your business purpose, for your work purpose, or you might study in an institution that is registered abroad. So all that is possibility, and depending upon your life, your current status, you will be showing Mercury traits. Budh in the 12th house, you can say, is not that great. If you see from the Kal Purush, Mercury gets debilitated in the 12th house because 12th house is Pisces. So the very nature of the 12th house, which is Vyay, is more about having the money going out. So it is more about the exit rather than the entry. So there is more loss than gain in the 12th house. So the only problem with Virgo is that there will be instances, especially Virgo moon sign, where you will have to become indifferent. You will have to let things go. But if you want to declutter, if you want to, remove toxicity from life, if you want to be more, I will say, more on the spiritual level, on a spiritual plane, trying to focus your mind towards mantras, being in the superconscious state, meditating, then this will be a great time for you. For students, however, it will be a difficult time because this can cause loss of memory. Maybe you have learned something, you have practiced something, and suddenly you are forgetting it. So revision, revisiting what you have attempted is going to be a theme, and a lot of planning and strategy will be needed. One more thing that you will have to see is that if you're facing any blood related issue or skin related issue, you will have to be slightly cautious, considering Mars is in your 12th house, aspected by a retrograde Saturn from the 6th house. With respect to relationship and marriage, this can be a time of tension. This can be a time of heated arguments. So stay humble, stay grounded, and just focus on your own strength and work on your weakness. And whenever you see that you are in a vulnerable situation, whenever you are unable to figure out the way, then you start chanting Vishnu Sahasranam and only focus on the divinity and focus on your own past. Try to see what you would have done if the situation was coming in your life 5 years back. I'm not saying that you should react in the same way, but what it will remind you is about your strength, because 5 years back you were 5 years younger. So somehow it will connect with your inner self, and in certain cases it will give you a lot of confidence. Libra. For Libra, Mercury is your 9th lord and 12th lord, and this goes in 11th house. When 9th lord goes in 11th house, this shows great gains, positive output from your life. Mercury is about transaction, finance, your currency, your stocks. All that will improve, and after a very long time. In fact, I will say since Ketu has moved on your ascendant, this time is really productive. This will make you run around. You will suddenly get, say for example, if you have a shop or if you have a business, you are overwhelmed by the orders. And so bring Vyapar Vriddhi Yantra or Lakshmi Yantra, Dhana Yantra, Lakshmi Kuber Yantra in your office. Place a Kuber Yantra in the north wall of your home and pray the Kuber Mantra, chant the Kuber Mantra. Because 11th house, Mercury is Bhavad Bhavam from the 12th house. From the 12th lord being Mercury, it is 12 places away. 12th lord is 12 places away. So your loss will convert into gains, and this is the time when even your speculative business will show positive results. But don't take unnecessary risk, because unnecessary risk will only be restricted by Saturn. Your risk appetite should be less, but a controlled one. And don't believe in everything that you see or hear in a network circle, because a lot of misinformation can also come your way. After all, there is Mars, which has tendency to move to the 12th house. You will get a lot of connect with the enthusiastic individuals. You might get proper people who can work for you. You can build a big team. You can build a big organization during this time. Your dreams will be fulfilled and your wishes will also come true. So definitely what it shows is a very beautiful transit, a transit that is responsible for gains, profit. Just that you have to ensure that blind trust will be bad, because Jupiter and Rahu is in the 7th house. Scorpio. Now for Scorpio, if you observe, Leo is your 10th house and Mercury rules your 11th house and your 8th house. Now that is so unique, 11th and 8th. And this 8th lord goes in the 10th house, so definitely it talks about career transformation. It talks about end of one aspect of your career and a beginning of a new aspect. Change of source of income is possible. People who are looking for job change, they will see something positive going their way. Promotion is on the cards. Positive changes are on the card, because 10th house Mercury is very active, because this is along with Mars. And you will be very much hopeful with the events that will happen in and around your career, in and around your designation. Your respect will also grow and you will be known for your speaking abilities, known for your quick action. But what might happen is it might draw attention away from home, family and comfort, and then the body and the mind may be drained too much, and it will bring your attention back to that back to the health. So do not ignore health and then do everything else. That is going to be the key for Scorpio natives, for Scorpio ascendant and even Scorpio moon sign. Now when Mercury rules your 11th house and 11th lord comes in your 10th house, so definitely this is a kind of a position where you have to give up on expectations and keep doing the karma. Through repeated action, through constant change and strategy and planning, you will be able to secure much compared to any other day, any other month. Also, this might mean that through your friends you can start a career. There can be partnerships. You will be known in your network circle, but also your network circle will go under a rehaul. Few people will leave, few new people will come in contact. Especially after retrograde Mercury, you will have to be careful. I will explain that in my retrograde Mercury video, that communication can be a problem. And because 8th lord is Mercury, it can make you hypersensitive to small data, small information, and you will be having that knee-jerk reaction. Refrain from doing that. Chanting Purusha Sukta, listening to Vishnu Sahasranam will be an excellent remedy here. And even praying to Bhagwan Hanuman by chanting Hanuman Chalisa will be exceptional for you. After all, your Lagna Lord, Ascendant Lord, is with 8th Lord in your 10th house. Which also means that you will initiate few things personally, because here we cannot ignore the presence of Mars. It is after all you, and it is also your 6th Lord. So definitely this shows that you are personally taking matters in your own hand, communicating it and changing your role. All that is possible during this time. And for people who don't have career, and elderly people, you must be careful about the health of your knees, and students should be careful about that their time spent on games and the other distractions. But otherwise, this is a beautiful transit. Sagittarius ascendant. Now in case of Sagittarius, if you observe that for the Mercury rules your 7th house and 10th house, so it rules your business, your career, your marriage, and one of the two most important, Karma Kshetra. And if you see, the 7th house is also 10th from 10th, and both are ruled by Budh, which goes in the 9th house. So definitely it is a very positive transit for you. It's going to be extremely auspicious, but also it holds a certain cards like 7th house going 3 places away, 7th lord going 3 places away, shows gain in your business and you testing your luck, you getting help from divine energy, and your inner eyes are opening and a lot of realizations are coming your way. This also means that this is going to open up new ways of source of income, new ways of business, new business partnership. Marriage is on the card. Marital issues will come to some sort of solution or some sort of closure. But on the other hand, from the perspective of 10th house, 10th Lord is 12 places away. And when 10th Lord is 12 places away, you can understand that this is a loss of the 10th house, which means that you should not trust your luck so much that you lose your dignity. This might be, kind of producing certain insults, and you won't be able to speak much, especially because there is a retrograde Saturn in the 3rd house. And this retrograde Saturn is aspecting that Mercury. So it's more a test of your patience while giving you positive things. And if you are patient, you will see that you will get great things out of this Mercury transit in the sign of Leo. Career changes are on the card. Foreign travel, foreign trips are possible. Travel, work-related travel is also possible. Connecting with people who are not local to your place and that can expand your business or your career, that is also very much possible during this time. You will get guidance of a guru, guidance of a mentor, and if you want to heal yourself, this is a great time. You can use the power of the 9th house. So when the 9th Lord comes in the 9th house, which will happen on mid of August, that is when Mercury will start catching a lot of potential, lot of power. Until then, you will see that because Sun, which is your 9th Lord, is in 8th house, this is more of an occult transit. Because Sun in the 8th house is going to highlight all the secrets. It will just open up all the properties of the 8th house so that the things which were hidden will now come in vision. That is in marriage, that is in career. And what to do with that information will be up to you. But you will have to be very restrained and very controlling on your actions, especially because of retrograde Saturn. And if you observe that this is definitely going to be heavily spiritual transit for you, after all it's a 9th house. And Mercury being a Yoga Karaka, Kendra Lord coming in trine is in a way a Rajyog. 10th Lord coming in 9th house is never considered bad. It just means that sometimes even when you are at work, you just maybe have to learn from almost everybody and learn from circumstances, learn from even juniors, and sometimes information can come. Anybody can be your guru. So it is like making life your guru. Here you will also have to work on your communication skills. Silence is going to be your weapon, and overall it's a positive transit. It's a magnificent transit. But then you must be ready to sacrifice something that is very close to you in order to get bigger gains. Capricorn. In case of Capricorn ascendant, if you observe that Mercury rules your 6th house and 9th house. So definitely Mercury rules both your dharma and your prarabdha. Now imagine how important Buddha as a planet is for you. Your ascendant Lord is placed in the 2nd house and your prarabdha Lord goes in your 8th house and they come under opposition. Now definitely this is going to heavily affect your ascendant, especially because your 6th Lord sitting in the 8th house aspects your 2nd house. This might involve expenses related to medicine, health related expenses might come. You will have to take great care about your immunity, matters related to nervous system and matters related to your own health, skin related issues, and also anything that has to do with your consciousness and brain. Now, this Mercury being in the 8th house is not always bad. This can bring your attention and your consciousness to core fundamental areas of life, therefore improving your health, because with little bit of health issue, if it is successful to shift your focus you take necessary actions, a holistic and appropriate approach towards your health in the long term will become better. So in this way, Mercury will use the properties of the 8th house, which is like surprise communication, and that will help you progress. After all, Buddha is not a bad planet, it is your 9th Lord. And when 9th Lord comes in the 8th house, this is where the divine communication comes through the occult measures. So if you donate your money towards the education of children, if you are chanting one mantra, simple, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. If you keep on chanting this mantra again and again and again, not only you activate your ninth house and fifth house, but you also activate your eighth house. And with Buddha being in the eighth house, aspecting the second and your retrograde ascendant lord, it has profound impact on your life, on your finances. One area where this Mercury can be negative is business. So the businessman should be very, very careful during this time, because this can bring loans. And yes, if you want a loan from someone, this is going to be very helpful for you. But otherwise, this can make you your money kind of stuck in the market. So be watchful of that. With partnerships, you can expect positive energies coming your way. And with Mercury being in the 8th house, this is the time which will demand more from you and give less. The only reason why Buddha will be doing is to give you that platform where you can stand and deliver, where you can fulfill your prarabdha and your expectation. This has great potential to cut down your debt. So if you're too debt ridden and if you don't know what to do, this Mercury can bring a sigh of relief. This Mercury has the potential to end problems of your life, because this is third from the 6th, but in your 8th house, and this can change your life for good. But whatever happens, you will have to pray to Bhagavan Narayan and surrender to him. Aquarius Ascendant. Now for Aquarius as an ascendant, Mercury is a very unique planet. It rules, just like Capricorn, it rules your 5th and 8th house. That means one Trikbhav and one Mula Trikona. So for you, Mercury is a planet of education. Mercury is a planet of expression. Mercury is a planet of deep learning. Mercury is a planet of deep data analysis, and this planet goes in your 7th house. So this is the time to work on your marriage. This is the time to work on your relationships, on your business. See, whenever 8th Lord goes into any particular house, the natural tendency of that house Lord, Mercury being the house Lord, the house of the Lord of the 8th house, is to bring transformation, interfere in a hard way, and make that house change its flavor and maybe deliver secondary results or secondary attributes of that house. So when Mercury being the 8th Lord comes in the 7th house, through your marriage, it will start creating an impact in your life. Now this is up to you whether you want to take it on a positive side or you want to take it on the negative side. This might also involve people who are other than the couples. This might also create a scenario where the presence of in-laws can be slightly troublesome. Also, Mercury coming in the 7th house is also a Maranakaraka position for Buddha, because 7th house is all about maintaining balance. And once the balance has been restored, what is the need of Buddha? The only need of Buddha will be to somehow communicate and strike that balance. There is no way to, nothing else to plan, nothing else to strategize. The logic has reached its conclusion. So Mercury cannot, relate with this house. Mercury relates more with the 6th house, 3rd house, 10th house, 11th house. But 7th house is a position which is more about relationships. So Mercury will try to bring logic, and through logic it can create damage. In business it will work. In a personal relationship you will have to be careful. If you're already into a difficult relationship or a difficult marriage, you need to bring in logic, but with compassion, with patience. Otherwise it will start creating distance. And because Mercury is directly going to aspect your Lagna, and because Mars is present in the 7th house and there's a retrograde Saturn on the ascendant, through your marriage it will create a lot of personal transformation. Your likes, your dislikes, the way you feel, the way you approach a problem will change. Business will also draw most of the attention, and maybe you need investment, maybe you need certain kind of changes in the business. Maybe you want a deal to happen, but then you are saying that that is not happening. Give it some time. This is a time when you have to change your approach, unlearn and relearn, because it is your fifth lord, the house of education, the house of expression, knowledge, coming in the seventh house. So apply all your knowledge and focus on what you know, but be ready to break down and become somebody new, because ultimately the finer expression of Buddha is to help you grow, is to give you proper financial profits and financial gains. For students, it can be a very good time, but you will have to cut down yourself from the distractions. You will have to leave all the possible distraction, play, Instagram or any such things, and put more time and effort towards studies. From the seventh house, this can affect the lower back region of the body. So be careful if you're facing any health issues from that area. And by chanting the name of Bhagwan Narayan, or by simply saying Hare Ram Hare Krishna mantra, you will be able to sail through for this in this wonderful Mercury in the seventh house transit. It may be a time when you are starting new ventures. Do it practically. Pisces Ascendant. Now, in case of Pisces, if you observe that Mercury is a very important, it rules 50% of your life. How? Well, the central houses 1, 4, 7, 10 are the four pillars of Earth, Dharma, Kama, Moksha. Out of that four pillars, 2 are ruled by Jupiter, 2 are ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules your 4th and 7th house, and therefore Buddha is responsible for your personal life, for your assets, for your happiness and for your marriage. And if that Mercury goes in 6th house, this is trying to draw your attention towards your core duties and responsibilities, and whether you like or not, you will have to put your head there, you will have to bring your consciousness there, and you will have to consciously make an attempt to solve those matters or fulfill your duties. Otherwise, this will create problems. Well, see, whenever 7th Lord goes in 6th house, this is actually not a great sign for marriage. This is a time when there can be a separation between partners. The reason can be as simple as just a career change. I'm not saying it will always be a problem. But what happens is that if you are not communicative enough, if you are very secretive, if you are more focused towards the negative aspects of the 6th house, then this is only going to create further disputes. This can also resemble a broken marriage. This can resemble a business partnership going away. So if you want a business partnership to end, well, this is going to be a good time. But if you are in a rough patch and you are trying to save, then you will have to focus on fulfilling duties by yourself, whether you like it or not. Also, your Sukh Bhav, your 4th Lord goes in 6th house. So the health of your mother, the environment in the family might disturb you. You also should be driving carefully, otherwise the fines or the damage can cost you. Because Mercury aspects the 12th house, where there is already a retrograde Saturn, unnecessary expenses or the loan of burden, maybe unpaid bills and credit card statements can trouble your mind a lot. In that case, chanting the Narayan mantra, Purusha Sukta, Vishnu Sahasra Nam will be extremely helpful. This is the time when your Mercury wants you to focus on all the bad and the good and see life in a black and white format, binary format. Accept your mistakes and be ready to correct it. See, when you accept the mistake, Saturn there is aspecting, and Saturn has the power to reverse all the loss. But Saturn wants to see your consciousness going there and you willfully accepting it and showing some steps, some baby steps towards improvement. Otherwise, this is bad for business-related investments, marriage. There can be a separation, maybe a person going into a foreign country. With respect to children, you might face arguments, and your relationship with your mother, your relationship with your own home, that energetic relation, that might be disturbed, and you might not feel right in the very place where you were always comfortable, especially like your bed, your bedroom, and suddenly you would want to change things, but you can't. So don't take this Mercury in 6th house lightly. Although Mercury rules the Kalpurusha's 6th house, which is Virgo, and therefore Mercury wants to strategize, to plan. See, you have to understand the nature of the planet. In 6th house, Budh is more about logical thinking, because there are problems and problems requires logic. So Budh will love this place. That's why Mercury is exalt in Virgo. You have to put your mind and attention towards social service, Seva, because 6th house is also the house of Seva. Heal yourself and others. Contact a healer if needed. This is the time when you should connect to a psychologist if your mind is overthinking. This is the time when you connect with people who are like-minded and come in a community and try to resolve the problem through teamwork and strategy. Emotional overwhelming situation might occur, especially when Moon will be traveling in a negative place. But also try to understand that Jupiter will be aspecting this Budh. Your ascendant lord from the 2nd house will be aspecting this Budh. So praying to Ma Mahalakshmi, taking the support of a family member, or sometimes handshaking with the situation can help a lot. Think about it.